Eclipses are powerful celestial events that can bring significant changes. They usher in new quickly and they remove obstacles quickly. What you need to know for your April 20th Aries new moon eclipse horoscope. Hi, I'm Patricia Tate with willowgracemystic.com, and this is your astrology forecast for April 20th, 2023. So, new moons. New moons are when the sun and the moon are conjunct in the same sign. And so we have the sun and the moon both in the sign of Aries. We also have Jupiter and Chiron all in the sign of Aries. Now, Aries is associated with individuality. It is leadership, taking action. It's a fire sign. It's ruled by Mars. It's known for its assertiveness, its impulsiveness, and its passion. Now, this new moon eclipse is unique in that the Aries new moon is conjunct the North Node. And the North Node is out of sign. So this eclipse usually eclipses everything is in the same sign. This eclipse, the North Node is in Taurus. So Taurus for you is in your second house of your values, your cash, your property, things that are significant for you personally. Now we have the North Node here, and then we have opposite of the South Node. These nodes are squaring, if you notice this, they are squaring the sign of Pluto. Pluto has just moved into Aquarius, where it's going to be for the next 20 years. Pluto is the planet of great transformation. It's at 0 degrees, just here. All of these degrees are very important. We have 0, 29. So the Aries sun eclipse is like an ending with major beginnings, and Pluto is just starting a transformation of this area of your life. So the Aquarius Aries area is your friends, your social circles, the groups that you intentionally want to spend time with for your career. It's your hopes, it's your dreams, it's where you want to spend time that propels you forward in life. And the eclipse happening in your first house of self, this is about personal growth and self-discovery. Now, it can inspire you to take on new challenges, to pursue goals with renewed energy, with renewed enthusiasm. It's a time for you to be focused on your personal development, leadership, and independence. But the square, the tension point, remember that squares are about something has to give, and that's the point that it's going to give. You have something that has to do with your personal values, your cash, your property, and with other people. This is contracts that you've signed, or money that you have tied up with other people, or with alimony, or with child support, or with it's your +1 house where you have contracts with money that comes into you. It's also the house of sex, transformation. It's the life, death, birth, recycle house. So there's going to be something that's going to be released through your 11th house of your hopes, your dreams. That's where the transformation is going to happen. You have all this new energy that's going to be started, but something is going to be transformed, giving up of those two areas of your life, and the push out is going to be through possibly these new groups, these new dreams, these new hopes. It's about personal growth and self-discovery of you. And how do you connect that with people, places, and things that you are connected with in the outside world? Now, eclipses are like new moons on steroids. So typically at a new moons mean fresh starts, clean slates, times that we set these intentions, and there's all these great new beginnings. The eclipse is a time where you allow for flow. You allow for the magic to happen. They're new moons on steroids, and they quickly bring in people, places, and things to make these adjustments at a faster pace. So they remove and then they bring in with chance encounters. So at this time, do not set intentions and allow the space for synchronicity to happen in your life. Now for Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, New moon eclipses, they're unique in that we have the sun and the moon occurring both at the same time. The eclipse is when it is connected to your north or south node. And so this one is unique in that the north node is in your first house of self, and the sun and the moon are in your 12th house. New moons. New moons are fresh starts, clean slates. It's when the sun and the moon are connected together. This is in the sign of Aries. Aries is associated with individuality, leadership, taking action. Aries is a fire sign. It's ruled by Mars, and it's known for assertiveness, impulsiveness, and passion. We have Jupiter and Chiron here also, magnifying and expanding this area of your life, which is your 12th house. The 12th house is your dreams, your intuition. It's also where we go to charge, or to have solace, or to be removed from society. Now, the North Node, the connection with the North Node is Taurus is solid, stable, reliable. Taurus wants creature comforts. Taurus wants to slow down. Taurus wants slow and steady and reliable. The North Node and the South Node, they are squaring Pluto up here. So Pluto, it has just gone into Aquarius, and it will be here for the next 20 years. It is a slow progression of change. Pluto wants great transformation. It wants to rid of the old, have you face your fears, remove things and transform them for your best and highest good. That being said, this is your worst fears. These are your dreams that you want to come true. And how do you make this happen? It will have something to do with your first house of self and your 7th house of partners, relationships, friends, significant others. It's also you with clients. So Taurus, this can inspire you with this eclipse to explore your inner world, to connect with your intuition, your dreams, your clearing of karma. It can be a time of you focusing on spiritual growth, your emotional healing, your self-reflection, and how is this going to change the way that people will see you in society. Remember, Pluto is in the top of your chart, meaning this is how people perceive you. This is how they see you. It's your job, it's your career, but it's also the legacy that you leave behind. So knowing that it's about you, and it's about people that you're going to be spending time with, and what you need to do to connect with your dreams, your intuition, your spirit guides. Now, being focused on your spiritual growth, your emotional healing, and self-reflection. Remember that eclipses are like new moons on steroids. Normally we set intentions. We expect a new cycle of things to happen. With an eclipse, we do not set intentions. We allow for flow, because eclipses make hard and fast changes to move us in the direction in which we're supposed to be going, the area of the great transformation. And so, in order to allow magic to happen, people, places, and things are going to be quickly removed from your life, and there's going to be synchronicity that's going to be bringing chance encounters. Gemini and Gemini rising. This eclipse is happening in your 11th house. Now, we have the sun and the moon. Remember that new moons, they are when the sun and the moon are conjunct or connected together in the same sign in the same house. An eclipse happens when we have the nodes involved. And so we also have Jupiter, the planet of great expansion, and Chiron, which is an asteroid which is pushing forth healing, great healing for us. So Aries. Aries is associated with individuality, leadership, taking action. It's a fire sign. It's ruled by Mars. It's known for being impulsive, being passionate, and assertiveness. This being in your 11th house, this is about your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your prayers. This is also connected to the groups or the people that you hang out with, either through work or through pleasure, that help you along in life. These are the people that you want to spend time with, or that you need to spend time with in order for you to do better with your career. or that you can feel that you're connected with in order to propel you further with your spiritual goals. Now, the North Node being in your 12th house, the North Node is in Taurus. Taurus is about material wealth, and it's also about being solid and stable and reliable. And this is you connected to your dreams, your intuition, your spirit guides. And your South Node is in your 6th house of your health, your service to others, your mental, physical, spiritual well-being. And how do you manifest your hopes, your wishes, your dreams? Well, it's squaring Pluto. Pluto is in your 9th house. Pluto has just gone into the sign of Aquarius, where it is going to spend the next 20 years. It is about slow growth over time to transform you for your best and highest good. Pluto comes in and literally wants to overhaul an area of your life, but it will do so in chunks of time for your best and highest good. It's where you've become solid, but no growth is happening because you're not changing, you're not evolving. And Pluto comes in and says, okay, this is about travel. This is about finding a class, finding a workshop, having your work published, connecting with spiritual guides that'll help you, or teachers, or classes, or workshops, or where the student becomes the teacher. So you connecting with people far and wide. How are you making this happen? Have you been too stable with your dreams of, I'm not making any progress with where I'm going, working out of fear? So all of this together is saying that you need to connect your social life, your community involvement. This is you saying, how do I connect what I want to do, what I want to be known for, what I want to give of my time? How do I connect that to my dreams, my hopes, my spiritual aspirations, with people that are farther away, with classes and workshops, maybe having something published? But all of this is you working towards your best and highest goal over the next 20 years. Eclipses are like new moons on steroids. Normally for new moons, we have set your intentions, charge your crystals, your moon water, all of that. But this new moon being on steroids, it's about magic happening, and it's quick, hard and fast changes. It's about people, places, and things that will be removed quickly from your life, and synchronicity, bringing in chance new encounters to connect you with the direction in which you're supposed to be going. So for Cancer and Cancer rising, this new moon is occurring at the top of your chart. This is your 10th house. The 10th house is where you are publicly seen by everybody else. It doesn't mean that that's who you are authentically. It's but how people see you. It's the legacy that you leave behind. It's your career, your work. It's you being seen like on a pedestal for everybody else. It's in the sign of Aries. Aries is known for fire and passion and being assertive and impulsive, and it's taking action and leadership. It's individuality. It's a fire sign. So we have the sun and the moon connected together to manifest these new beginnings. The eclipse is where it's connected to the North Node. The North Node is not in the same sign. It is in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is with your friends, your social circles, your networks, the groups that help you, or the groups that you belong to for your career, for your public standing. It is your hopes and your dreams of what you want to manifest. Now, the opposite is the South Node. The South Node is in your 5th house of what personally brings joy to you. It is children or being childlike. It's creativity, it's art, and it's music. And so how do you take what you want to do in this lifetime, what you need to do, the people that you connect with in this lifetime, the social circles that you run with? So that being said, for Cancer, it's going to inspire you to focus on your career, focus on your involvement, and taking these bold steps towards your professional goals, to stand out in your field, to connect with people that are in social circles or groups that will help make your dreams come true, to connect you with the other people that want to lift you up to make your dreams happen. Remember that during eclipses, so new moons, we normally set intentions, we charge our crystals, but for eclipses, they're like new moons on steroids. We take a step back, we pause, we allow for flow, we allow for the magic to happen, we allow for synchronicity. This is about people, places, and things being quickly removed from your life and looking for the chance encounters or the synchronicity of what is now going to be brought into your life, and how do you work with the new. So for Leo and Leo rising, this eclipse is happening in your 9th house. Solar eclipses are when the sun and the moon connect together in the same sign. And so this is in the sign of Aries. Aries is a fire sign. It's ruled by Mars. It's known for its assertiveness, being impulsive, being passionate, taking action, leadership, individuality, and it's in your 9th house. The 9th house for you is you in the outside world, connecting with foreign people, places, and things, higher education, having your work published, taking a class, taking a workshop, where the student becomes the teacher. It is literally you connecting and seeing the bigger picture and connecting with that fiery passion out in the outside world. Now, the eclipse is also connected to the North Node, which has to do with your career. The North Node is in the sign of Taurus. Taurus rules your 10th house of your career, how you are seen, your legacy that you leave behind. It is you of what you will be publicly known for, or the public will literally see you for. It's in a square, so we have the North Node at the top of your chart, and the South Node is at the bottom of your chart with your house and your home. And the square is the tension point, and it's leading out through your 7th house of partnership. So we have this new moon eclipse occurring, bringing these great new beginnings, but there's a tension point that something has to give. The square is where the tension is going to have to give. It's in the sign of Aquarius, with Pluto just arriving in your 7th house. Now, Pluto has just gone in there, and it will be there for the next 20 years. And Pluto wants a slow transformation of that area of your life where you've become stagnant, where you haven't had great change. And so over the next 20 years, you're going to be having a lot. It's about bringing in new growth so you can expand and evolve in that area. Now, it's not just friends, it's your best friends, it's your clients, it's your significant partners, it's your one-on-one relationships. Now, the eclipse being the tension point of how do I combine, what do I want to do in my life, what do I want to take these classes, I want to have these things published, I want to be known for this, it's connected to my home and my career. All of this is occurring so that you can connect these areas of your life. You need to connect the travel, your education, you're seeing the bigger picture, your where do I want to go for my job, for my home, and my partnership area of my life. Now, generally at new moons, we set intentions, we charge our crystals, but not with eclipses. Eclipses are a time that we take a step back, we pause, we reflect, we don't set intentions, we allow for flow, we allow for magic, we allow for synchronicity, because this eclipse is going to usher people, places, and things out of your life, and by synchronicity, bringing new people, places, and things into your life. So look for what is now leaving and the synchronicity of what is now coming in through partnerships, through your career, through your home, and for where you want to learn, study, or connect with others, and embrace these new changes. So for Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising, this eclipse is occurring in your 8th house. The This new moons are the sun and the moon connect up together in the same sign, but an eclipse is where we have the nodes involved. And so what makes this one different is that this node is out of sign. Your north node is in the sign of Taurus, highlighting another area of your life. So let's break it down. Aries is it's a fire sign. It is ruled by Mars. It's known for being assertive, impulsive, passion. It's about individuality, leadership, and taking action in this area of your life. This is occurring in your 8th house of shared resources. This is with contracts that you've signed with other people. This could be alimony, child support, through work that you share with other people, with companies or business. It's death, it's taxes, it's also the occult, it's sex, and it's birth, death, and rebirth transformation. It's the part of your life that is kind of hidden, but you're not afraid to go for a deep transformation or a turnover of. Now, the node is here in the sign of Taurus in your connection to spirituality or looking for teachers and mentors and then becoming one yourself. It is the house of higher learning. It is you connecting to foreign people, places, and things, and ready to try new things, to see the bigger picture. Now, the north node is there, and the south node is you, closer to home. It's still learning. It's technology. It's understanding. But there's a square. Squares are tension points, and the tension point is going to come out through your 6th house with the sign of Pluto. Pluto has just gone into the sign of Aquarius, where it's going to be for the next 20 years. Pluto wants your best and highest good, and where Pluto goes into, it's about an area of your life that you've not been evolving, you've not been transforming, you've been kind of stagnant, and it's in your house of my service to others. Either I'm giving too much or I'm not balancing my mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being. It's the house where you can either give or give too much of yourself. And how do you have boundaries within that and still be your best you? So knowing this eclipse is about bringing big changes that include your shared resources, that include your contracts. It's your networks that you have with others in the outside world and with significant partners. It could be clients, it could be with a significant other. And how are you balancing your service to others without giving too much of yourself? Remember that new moons, they are times that we set intentions, but not new moon eclipses. New moon eclipses are like new moons on steroids. They're a time when you take a step back. You allow for flow. You allow for the magic to happen, because people, places, and things are going to be brought into your life, and that they're going to be quickly removed from your life. Now, expect these chance encounters and look for the synchronicity of contracts, people, places, and things that you want to connect with, whether it be taking a class or with workshops or where you become the student becomes the teacher. It's also the house where things could happen with publishing. For Libra and Libra rising, this eclipse is occurring in your 7th house of partnership. I love this. Remember that this new moon eclipse, the new moon eclipse is when we have the sun and the moon conjunct together. And an eclipse happens when it involves the north node or the south node. So we have the new moon in Aries. Aries is the sign of fire and passion. It's known for being assertive and being impulsive and taking action and leadership, and associated with individuality. All of this is occurring in your 7th house. The 7th house for you represents your partnerships, your relationships. It's your one-on-one, your connection to others. This could be best friends. It could be significant others. It's also you with clients. It's where you sign contracts with other people. Now, the North Node is in the sign of Taurus, which is in the 8th house of debt, or where cash and property come in, where we have these contracts where it comes back to you. It is alimony, child support. It is death and rebirth. It is sex. It is the house of great transformation and ready to go deep. So whatever is going on with you, this new moon eclipse in your new partnerships, it's going to include contracts with others or like a negotiation of. Now, the North Node being here, the South Node is the opposite. This is representing you with your cash, your property, things that you personally value. It is your self-worth. It is squaring here Pluto. Now, Pluto has just gone into the sign of Aquarius. Pluto is going to be here for the next 20 years. It's a slow change of this area of your life, and that is your 5th house. That is of children. It is you being childlike. It's art, it's music, it's what brings joy to you. You could be creating things. You could be, it's also the house of sex and affairs. So all of that being said, we're now going to tie together this new moon solar eclipse into a summary, adding all of these things together. Remember that Libra wants to bring things together and to find balance between all areas of your life. This is with people, places, and things. So this eclipse may bring huge changes in your relationships, your partnerships, your friendships. It can inspire you to make these meaningful connections and strengthen these existing bonds that you have. It could be a time for you to be focusing on new things and developing these new contracts that you have, or these things that have to do with your cash, your property, your self-worth that you have with other people. And how do you develop these new skills for improving the communication of you, other people, what brings joy to you, and manifesting these new things. So eclipses, they're like new moons on steroids. Normally during a new moon, you set intentions and you charge your crystals and you expect these new cycles to start. Well, an eclipse is a new moon on steroids. This is when we stop and we take a pause. We allow for synchronicity to happen. We know that this is going to be a time for magic happening, but it's going to be a quick removal of people, places, and things, and synchronicity bringing these new chance encounters of people, places, and things into your life so that you can work on these contracts, making your self-worth feel better, and for what brings you personal joy, either more childlike or actually with children. So for Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising, this eclipse is happening in your 6th house. Now, new moons are when the sun and moon meet up in the same sign, but an eclipse is when it's connected to a node. And so we have the North Node in your 7th house of partnership, but we have this sun and moon eclipse happening in your 6th house. So let's break it down. The eclipse is happening in your 6th house and in the sign of Aries. Aries is associated with individuality and leadership and taking action. And it's a fire sign. It's ruled by Mars, known for being assertive and impulsive and being very passionate. In your 6th house, this is you with where do you balance for home and work? Where do you give of yourself but not give too much? It's where there's service, but you don't want the service turn into like a slavery of I've given too much of myself and I'm no longer enjoying it. And so that's connected to your 7th house of partnerships, your friendships, your relationships to others. It is your +1 house. This is where you sign contracts with other people. It could be through a marriage partner or a significant other or best friends. Now, the South Node is opposite in your 1st house of self, how you are seen in the outside world, how people see you. All 3 of these areas are going to now square Pluto. Pluto is at the bottom of your chart. Pluto has just gone into the sign of Aquarius. Pluto wants great transformation, but it wants it over a longer period of time. Pluto is going to be in the sign of Aquarius for the next 20 years. So it's going to be overhauling your house, your home, your roots, your foundations. It's about understanding your lineage, where you came from. So when we tie it all together, it's going to have to do with you, your partnerships, your relationships. Where do you give too much of yourself? How do you find balance with your mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being? And what does that have to do with your house and your home? Squares are the tension point that something has to give, and it's generally in that area of your life that the transformation will give from. So for Scorpio, this eclipse is going to bring big changes to your health, your wellness. It can inspire you to make positive changes to your daily routine. This could include getting into an exercise program, changing an exercise, getting into something that has to do with diet, something that has to do with I'm going to embrace yoga. It could have something that has to do with I'm going to set aside time to volunteer, or I need to have boundaries where I give too much of myself. It's about you focusing on your physical, emotional well-being, your nutrition, your exercise. It's going to be a time of great change for your best and highest good. Normally with new moons, we set intentions. New moons, eclipses, they're like on steroids. This is when we take a step back and we focus on allowing for flow. We allow for magic to happen. Eclipses are where there will be quick changes of people, places, and things removed from your life and brought into your life. So look for synchronicity and look for new chance encounters to bring the magic into your life. So for Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Rising, this eclipse is occurring in your 5th house. The 5th house for you is children, acting childlike, it's sex, it's art and music. It's the house of what brings you personal joy. Now, new moon eclipses, they are when the sun and the moon are connected together and we have the nodes involved. So we have the sun and the moon in the sign of Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. It's known for being assertive, impulsive, passionate. It's associated with individuality, leadership, and taking action in this area of your life. And then we have the North Node. The North Node is in the sign of Taurus for you. Taurus is in your 6th house of the service that you give to others. It's your balancing your health, your well-being, your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being. It's when you give and balance my home and my career. Now the North Node is here and the South Node is opposite. That is in your 12th house of my worst fears, my karma, my dreams, my intuition, my hidden support. All of this connected together. This is squaring Pluto. Now, squares are tension points. If you notice, these are opposite of each other, and Pluto is in your 3rd house. Pluto is the planet of great transformation and wants slow growth over time, wants you to change and evolve for your best and highest good, but doesn't want you to go back to old ways. So when you change, it doesn't leave you an option to go back to the way things were. It's in your 3rd house. The 3rd house is what is close to home. It's learning, it's writing, it's journaling, it's traveling, it's your connection to the outside world, but generally it's closer to home. It also signifies close relatives of aunts, uncles, siblings. So bringing all of this together, this eclipse can bring huge changes in your creativity, your self-expression, what you enjoy for art or music or childlike pursuits, or with children, having children, children leaving the nest, children moving back in, artistic or creative projects that you want to start, lovers. remember that this is the house of I need to bring joy to me. It could be a time of you working with your artistic development, or taking creative risks that I want to do this for a career or for a job or something that brings you personal joy. It will be about your dreams. It will be about you connected in the outside world of, I need to do this in order to relax, or I need to do this to unwind from work. Remember that new moons, we generally set intentions. Well, new moons with eclipses are like new moons on steroids. This is a time where we take a step back and we pause. We allow for magic to happen. We allow for flow. We allow for people, places, and things to be removed from our life, and for synchronicity and bringing chance encounters to create new things in our life. So do not set your intentions. Allow for this magic to happen. So for Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising, this eclipse is happening in your house and home. It's your roots. It's your foundation. New moons are when the sun and the moon connect together. This is an eclipse because it's connected to the nodes. So let's break it down by bits and pieces. Aries is ruled by Mars. It is known for its assertiveness, its impulsiveness, its being passionate, its individuality, leadership, taking action. In your house, your home, your roots, your foundation, this is with people that live with you, or your family, or your lineage, understanding where you have come from. Being connected to the North Node that's in the sign of Taurus. That's in your 5th house of children. It's the 5th house of lovers. It's the house of what brings you joy, your art, your creativity, being childlike. Now, the North Node is there, but the South Node is opposite in your 11th house of friends and social circles, groups that you belong to, for your hopes and your dreams, for your career, for your public life, for what you want to belong to in life. Now, it's closely squaring Pluto. Pluto is in your 2nd house. Now, a square is a tension point. So Pluto has just moved into the sign of Aquarius, where it's going to be for the next 20 years. Pluto is the planet of great transformation, and it wants the transformation over such a long period of time that there is no going back, that once you have changed and evolved, you now cannot go back to the way things were. It's in your 2nd house of cash, property, your self-worth, things that are personally belonging to you, knowing that that's the tension point of what has to give in order for this eclipse to manifest, to transform and evolve. You're looking at combining all of this information for a story. So for Capricorn, expect great changes with your home, your family, the roots, the foundation that's connected to either children or lovers or artistic events or music or things that you want to be involved in that have to include others groups that you belong to, your personal goals, your personal dreams. That will change your 2nd house of your self-worth, your cash, your property, bringing together a story of evolving those areas of your life. Now, remember that normally on a new moon, we set intentions to move forward with. Not so during eclipses. Eclipses are like new moons on steroids. So we allow for flow. We take a step back and we pause. We allow for the magic to happen. There will be synchronistic events that will bring people, places, and things out of our life and bringing new chance encounters of people, places, and things into our life. And this could mean children moving in, children moving out, something that has to do with lovers, something that has to do with art and creativity. All of this is about to happen with synchronicity and magic. And moving forward, allow your self-expression, your development, your home, and your self-worth to now transform and evolve. So for Aquarius Sun and Rising, this eclipse is occurring in your third house. The third house is about travel and writing and journaling. It's the house of communication. It's also your neighbors, things that are close to home, and close relatives. So we have the sun and the moon, and they're in the sign of Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. It's fiery, it's passionate, it's about leadership and taking action. It's your individuality, known for your assertiveness in this area, being impulsive and passionate. And so an eclipse happens when we include the nodes. Your node is in your fourth house of home. Generally, they are together. So that's in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is earthy, solid, stable, not wanting change. And your north node connected to this makes an eclipse of this is the areas that are going to be great change, of quick coming in and quick removing. Your south node has to do with your career. It is your opposite of what your focus has been. You in the outside world, your legacy, how people will see you and how people see you with work-related projects. Now, all of this is squaring a tension point, you. It's squaring your first house of self. Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius. Pluto is the planet of great transformation and has just moved into your first house of self, and it will be here for the next 20 years. Now, Pluto wants transformation, but it wants the transformation to be over such a long period of time that there is no going back to the way things were. So you are in the process of evolving and changing certain areas of your life over the next 20 years. This is your appearance, how people see you, how you look, how you act, how you feel, how you present yourself to the world. Now, going back to this eclipse, going back to setting intentions, new moons, we generally set intentions. Not so for eclipses. Eclipses are like new moons on steroids. They bring immediate people, places, and things into our life, and they remove people, places, and things out of our life. So allow for flow, allow for magic to happen, allow for people, places, and things to be removed in and out of your life, and new chance encounters that have to do with the way that you communicate. This could be writing, journaling, publishing. This could have to do with taking a class or taking a workshop, something that will affect you, your home, your career, and how people see you, how you are going to change as a person because of all of this. So for Pisces Sun and Pisces Rising, this new moon is occurring in your second house. The second house is your cash, your property, your self-worth. It's things that you personally value. So new moons are when the sun and the moon are conjunct. Eclipses are when we now add in the nodes. And so let's break it down in chunks to tell a story about what is going on with you. So Aries. Aries is associated with individuality, leadership, taking action. Aries is a fire sign. It's ruled by Mars. It's known for assertiveness, impulsiveness, and passion. Being conjunct the North Node. The North Node is in the sign of Taurus. Being solid, stable, reliable, wanting to focus on home, and wanting to not move fast. Now, the second house is where you have this impulsive energy that you want to initiate these great changes. The nodes are where we're going to have the tension points of the great change happening. If the North Node is in your third house, which is communication and travel and close to home, your South Node is you in the outside world. This is you with your spirituality, or taking classes or workshops, or where the student becomes the teacher, or having things published. These are connected at a square or a tension point with Pluto in your 12th house. Now, Pluto has just gone into the sign of Aquarius. It is going to be here for the next 20 years. Pluto is the planet of great transformation in that it doesn't just allow for transformation. When it goes into a house, it says, I'm going to overhaul this area of your life for the next 20 years. So you cannot go back. It will remove people, places, and things so that there is no going back, so that there's a forced evolve. Now, the 12th house, this is your dreams, your intuition. It's your hidden side that you don't share with others. It's your connection to the spiritual realm. So we now have this connection for Pisces rising of your sun and moon saying the second area, the second house of your life with your self-worth, your cash, your property needs to undergo a serious overhaul. It will include something that has to do with big changes in your self-worth, your values. It can inspire you to set or reevaluate your priorities or pursue what truly matters to you with either education or with travel, to focus on your personal values, your personal self-worth for financial security. Your finances and your material possessions are going to come into focus. I would follow my dreams, my intuition, my connecting to the spiritual realm, and knowing that at new moons, generally new moons, we set intentions, but a new moon eclipse, these are times when we stop and pause. We allow for flow and we allow for magic. We allow for things to have quick, hard, and fast being removed from our life, and for synchronicity to bring in chance encounters, to bring in new things. So at this time, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your intuition, and pay attention to people, places, and things that are going to be brought into your life to help you evolve and change for your best and highest good, that has to do with your self-worth, your cash, your property. And this could include writing and journaling and having things published, things that will propel you for your best and highest good. I hope you found this insightful. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. To hear more, please subscribe.